This guy, Ted. Ted says he believes that Fields has the foundation to make a dramatic improvement. Look, this is not big news, but every little piece of news about Fields, which is why I'm reporting on this, not because Ted watches me. Ted gets his news from me. Actually, Ted doesn't watch the show. Because if Ted watched the show, he wouldn't be making these little baby promises about Justin Fields. He'd be coming in strong and saying Fields is not just going to make a little baby step, foundational step. He'd be saying Fields to the absolute moon. But no, Ted comes out, this little TED Talk, and says, Smitty, he's got good foundation to make a dramatic improvement. Maybe this guy throws for a few more touchdown passes. He'll probably be a pretty decent quarterback throwing the football. This report I don't even like. I'm here to just tell you that while the good news surfaces, and it will, look into my eyes as I tell you, Justin Fields will only impress every step he takes toward week 1. And if you think you're going to get the same steal in Justin Fields around mid-round 5, sometimes round 6, after this man drops fire in a scrimmage, runs for 70 yards untouched in a scrimmage, tosses 2 missiles in a row to DJ Moore, or Cole Kmet grabs some kind of one-handed catch in the back of the end zone, and they run and pick up Trevor Lawrence and carry him to the locker room like he's an angel. If one of these things gets caught on camera and gets posted on social media, this man's value will start crawling toward bottom of round 4 to begin with. Let's start there. So my point here is really just to be in here to tell you this is just the beginning. Make sure you grab as many shares on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty as you can. That link is in the description of this video. It's in the description of every video that I have. It's also just been dropped right now in the live stream. And if you guys want to grab this man as a 5th round pick, now's your time. Now's your time. Maybe your grandma league that you got coming up, even those guys and gals are going to know where Justin Fields is and what time it is regarding his 2023 breakout season. So you might need to reserve your right to walk into an underdog draft right now. Link in description. Promo code Smitty also gets it done, and the link's in the live chat. You might reserve your right, young man, to walk into an underdog draft and say, table for 1, Justin Fields round 5, please. And you can get away with it all day long. Every single draft. Sometimes round 6. Sometimes I take Joe Burrow in 4. And I do these little... Okay? And I'm like, Joe Burrow, thank you. I feel like I'm signing autographs while I walk out of my studio. I walk out of my studio and I say, you guys are looking at a marvel. And my family doesn't care. They think I'm an idiot. I walk out and they go, what have you been doing in there? Moon men, Mars men. You stayed up all night making some stupid Garrett Wilson animation, I might add.
Come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey man, it's Devontae Adams again. Call me back, bro.
In your eyes, the light that hit your eyes, incomplete, flawless.
Your eyes.
Garrett Wilson and the boys.
Your eyes.
Rodgers has new toys.
Your eyes.
The lights, the heat.
Your
A
eyes.
Jets fan complete.
Your eyes.
You don't want to test Sauce Gardner's heat.
Your eyes.
I want to watch Breece Hall's quick feet.
Jets country, let's ride. Yeah, I walk out of this studio and I think I'm a marvel. I think I'm an innovator. I feel like Elon Musk when I walk out of my studio, and then my family says, okay, are you going to go pick up the ice cream now? What are you even doing in there? I'm working on Garrett Wilson animations. I'm saving fantasy football lives. And I see some of you say that Fields isn't going around number 5 in some of your drafts. Well, not every draft platform is the same. And when you say he hasn't gone, I think I saw Swaggy or somebody say he hasn't gone in the 5th round on Sleeper in weeks. I honestly don't even know what you mean by that. I don't know if you mean on the 4th round side or on the 6th round side. That's how bad these ADP platforms are right now, because they're free tools. All of the ballers are drafting on Underdog Fantasy right now and spending their sweet time doing real drafts for $4 right now, because Underdog has a $4 Chihuahua draft where you can draft and win $25,000 to first place, I believe. And you can do up to 25 $4 Chihuahua drafts. Then they cut you off because they want everybody else to get a piece. You can do 25 Chihuahua drafts, and people are spending good money to get in these said drafts. They're not on Sleeper. You know who's getting on Sleeper? Denny, who we love. Denny's a marvel. Denny called the show last night an hour late and said, hey, somebody, and I'm like, Denny, the show's over. And you guys saw the story, the thing on Instagram. I played it, and on my YouTube short. And Denny is on there. No offense, Denny. Denny's on Sleeper, starting a draft and then falling asleep in the middle of the 4th round. Guess who else is on Sleeper? A bunch of robots finishing drafts that people bailed on because they wanted to quickly start another one because impatient Ian started a draft, didn't get what he wanted, and then what's going on with the fireplace? Okay? What's going on with the fire? Now everybody knows it's not real. It had an ad playing. Denny's on there. All these people are on there bailing on their draft. And guess what happens when someone leaves their draft in round number 5? They walk out of the draft, and then the auto draft takes over and piles more crappy ADP on ADP. If you go to Sleeper, maybe you are preparing for your league, though. If you draft on Sleeper and you're mock drafting on Sleeper, guess what? You're seeing influential things that are making you react a certain way because the suggested rank is telling you. And guess what? If you draft on Sleeper today, it would also suggest it. So, yeah, practice what you're doing. You know, they say in psychology, your boy's got a psych degree, I might add. If you study something in an altered state of mind, let's say you're tossing back a few two brewskis or some of grandpa's cough medicine, and you study for something, you should go into your testing environment in the same altered state, because you'll be able to retrieve what you learned in the same setting, the same feeling. You'll be harder pressed to go retrieve memories of learning if you are in an altered state learning it in a non-altered state when you're not learning it. Same thing with a lot of things. Same thing with drafting. If you go into a Sleeper draft and you're like, Smitty and the boys, we're drafting Dalvin Cook in round 7, 8. We're taking Kamara in round 9, and we're getting laughed at for it somehow, some way. We're getting Swift in round number 6.5, 7 right now. We're getting Joe Burrow and Fields in 4 and 5. And then you walk into a Sleeper draft, and you just forget what you're doing. You forget what you're doing. The suggested rank tells you that Fields is a 4th rounder, top of 4th round pick. Kamara's a 4th or 5th rounder, and people do it. People deliver on that. They deliver on the pressure of the ADP, and they draft Alvin Kamara around 4 or 5. And I know, because I do it too, because you're staring at the ADP in the face, and it's bad ADP data. So do what you want. Go where you want. Swaggy, understand what I'm saying. And Swaggy might just be letting me know, hey, he's where you said. 5th round on Underdog, like clockwork. Where's my mallet? Where's my mallet? I didn't even know. Here it is. 4th round, like clockwork, 5th round, 4th round on Sleeper. My whole point, I'm ranting and raving on Ted. Ted said something not even good, not even smart sounding, not even a good piece of news, not even accurate. And I'm still ranting and raving. This is an 11-minute, 37 news clip. Ted gets more airtime than I do in the news world. I'm telling you, Fields is going to be a top 1 to 5 quarterback. Ted's telling you he might be a little better this year. And Ted gets the big stage. Good for you for now. Eventually, the show is going to get some damn respect in the news world. And when Ted says something opinionated, it goes viral, apparently on NBC Sports. When I do, it doesn't yet. It will, so buckle up. For now, steal Fields away, and you will have yourself a championship. Fields is absolutely going to be 1,000% on the rise.
Stock on the rise.
Next, ESPN's Adam Schefter believes Sam Darnold has the edge going into camp over Trey Lance. Now, this comment was made in talking about if Brock Purdy for some reason didn't show up to start week 1. And all indications are that Shanahan's going to run Brock Purdy right out onto the field, similar to the way he did it when he tore his UCL and said, "Get back on the field, son." Or a backup went down. You're out there again. They're going to rush him out there. They're rushing him. I think they're rushing him. Granted, you could say the training staff wouldn't allow that. Don't tell me what a training staff will and won't allow. Okay? They'll do whatever the head coach essentially says. And there are a bunch of staffs that put players in vulnerable spots every single year. Tua Tagovailoa was clearly concussed. Anybody and their mother, anybody with a pulse, anybody that could see, hear, or watch this game, when Tua staggered around, fell down again, locked his hands up, and couldn't move, clearly in some sort of state that represented what looked to appear to be some sort of seizure or some concussive relative reaction when he locked his fingers up and he stood there and he couldn't move. He gets up, he stumbles around, and they walk him back onto the field. Because what? He said he's fine, and they said, okay, knowing that he wasn't, because you'd have to be a complete incompetent moron to not know that Tua suffered a concussion, because the entire world, people that know nothing about concussions, knew that he suffered a concussion. So that's a bunch of BS. But you're telling me that trainers and coaches and organizations don't put players in vulnerable situations? I don't think Purdy, I think if the Niners are smart, they will still potentially look to be cautious and hold Brock Purdy back a little bit. What do we got? Jellyfish on here? Okay, I'm done with this. This is bothering me. All right. Sam Darnold. If Kyle Shanahan starts Sam Darnold over Trey Lance, I'm just telling you right now, the man should be fired. And I'm tired of everybody defending Kyle Shanahan. Sam Darnold's not the answer. Sam Darnold is an awful quarterback in terms of NFL starting caliber quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is going to be the worst mistake the Niners make at the offensive, in terms of an offensive strategy. Walking into week 1, they could possibly make. It'll be one of the biggest mistakes Shanahan can make. Maybe they undo it really quick. Maybe at halftime Trey comes in, or maybe after week 1 they lose a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ron Navy's licking his chops over a Sam Darnold starting week 1 opportunity for that Pittsburgh Steelers defense that's coming back healthy. The offense is getting the defense ramped up and in good field position, because the defense and the offense will cascade back and forth for the Pittsburgh Steelers and put this defense in a fresh state of mind, with fresh opportunities to stay healthy and hammer Sam Darnold to pieces. Sam Darnold's going to get destroyed against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe that's why they want to throw him out there, because they don't want Trey Lance to crumble and fold like a chair against the Steelers D, because he hasn't been set up properly to start again. And I'm out on Trey Lance. I'm out. He's done to me, because unless he gets traded somewhere amazing right now, I'm done. I'm not attaching myself to this Shanahan self-sabotage Trey Lance situation. I'm just not. Trey's not been given a fair opportunity to start for this team. Therefore, he will fail. Trey Lance will fail. He's not even going to start. We may never see Trey Lance start again. It's just unreal that a coach is getting away with this without being criticized at all, because his organization, I believe, and again, some of my spiderwebbed connections to the Niners situation, that John Lynch was a big reason that Christian McCaffrey trade went down. I know there's ties to both families. I know the McCaffreys have been very tied to the Shanahans, obviously. And I also know that John Lynch, his Stanford connections, very tied to the McCaffreys as well. This is not a one-way thing. It probably was not one necessarily person over the other, but this is a John Lynch move. That is what Raj and everybody connected to the situation say. This is a John Lynch move. The Christian McCaffrey move was a John Lynch move, and everybody's giving Shanahan all the flowers for it. I'm not saying Shanahan shouldn't get some flowers for it, but that move saved his career. That move saved his job, and everyone's pretending like things didn't look very bleak before that went down. If this man starts Sam Darnold, it's going to be a debacle. It's going to be a debacle. It's unbelievable. Some people think Darnold is actually a good quarterback. And I just can't wait to see what happens in week 1. Tyreek Hill is being investigated. We talked about this yesterday. Being investigated for what is appearing to be a little slap. Let me I want the fireplace back. He's being let's see. He's being investigated for what appears to be some kind of pitter-patter slap right in the back of the head to what Scuba Steve, the man on hold right now, being very patient, by the way. Scuba, hang tight. Scuba came in here reporting that he punched a Marine square in the noggin. But he hit a Marina employee. And it sounds like he gave him a little love tap right in the back of the head. Almost like you give somebody on the rear when you say, good job, slap him on the butt, get out of the boat. Get out of the boat, son. Go. Boom. Good job. Good boating today. Like, apparently they did get in an argument, and the guy got slapped on the back of the head. I don't think anything's going to come of this. We talked about it already in length, but nothing's really new. I think that's what I'm essentially reporting to you, is nothing has come out. The league or the team has said that they're not going to comment on it going forward until they have more information. The league's going to look into it. The problem is Tyreek Hill has a checkered history of violence and domestic violence and just pure violence, dating back to his baby's mama and his child having a broken arm in what was deemed to be an accident, and punching a female, his baby's mama or girlfriend, allegedly. These are all alleged allegations. The league did nothing about them. The only thing that makes me think there might be something here is that the league didn't do anything about those, and that does set a precedent. It does show bad decision making by the league to continue, even if you just look into the past and say, okay, well, it's different now. If that would have happened maybe today, those specific things with his girlfriend at the time, those things could potentially have the NFL reacting. But because they didn't do anything, it may make them like almost retroactively make a decision and say, look, you got to stop this repeated pattern of violence and domestic issues and assault, because there's essentially a lot of assault in his track record. And this also goes to, for anybody that says, oh, it's not a big deal, it's more about the person. It's more about what he's doing. JCIM says Tyreek will pay money and it'll go away. Probably the case. And I agree with you. That's probably the more likely scenario here. And I don't even know how much the guy's going to get. Maybe he will, because he says, look, I'm not pressing charges for that little pitter patter on the back of the head, that little love tap, just a little tappy poo right on the back of the head. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that he would potentially go after him, which reportedly he's not. But maybe he's going to threaten to. Like, maybe my head is feeling a little weird, and I'm embarrassed, and social media has really been attacking me, and I really feel like maybe I might do something. And then Tyreek Hill goes, all right, how about $125K and a turbo red helmet, KC helmet, autographed, because I know you don't want my Miami Dolphin helmet. So yeah, there could be something where this thing goes away via that avenue. I mean, certainly, but because there have to be a criminal charge for it to not be something he could just, throw money at or something. If there's some sort of criminal charge, and there's not going to be a criminal charge on a little slap on the back of the head. It's not like he punched him straight in square in the nose. It was like a slap to the back of the head. There's no criminal charge coming down. Okay. And so it's up to the league to say something along the lines of like, do we step in on a situation that we believe to just be detrimental to the NFL? Do we say he needs to go to anger counseling? Do we not suspend him, but we fine him? I mean, something could come of it. I just don't anticipate, based on the NFL's reaction to Alvin Kamara's situation, I just don't see anything coming out of this in terms of discipline for the 2023 season. But the greater point, and I see super chats, I'm going to get to them right now because I'm done with the news. The greater point here is that does anybody else feel like the NFL is not stepping up and trying to protect players before these things turn into these things, before Tyreek Hills turn into Tyreek Hills, before Antonio Browns unravel? And it's always these wide receiver divas that are taking headshots and taking defenseless hits a lot more than the average position that have potentially some sort of maybe, and I'm not saying that Tyreek Hill has CTE. I'm not saying Antonio Brown has CTE. We can't really make those claims without knowing, and you don't really know until after the fact. It's a very, very scary thing. And it's as much as I want to rip on him right now for his behavior, I also feel like that there's a certain level of concern that I feel like the NFL doesn't look into or want to know. Antonio Brown burned his feet off, wanted to wear a Pop Warner helmet onto the field on Sundays, decided he was not going to play football anymore because he couldn't wear his Pop Warner football helmet onto the field. He refused to play for the Buffalo Bills. They took the trade off the table because he wouldn't go. He played for the Raiders, then he basically quit, made John Gruden essentially derail his career, and just one thing after the other. Tom Brady just carries him and just protects him for a couple years, and we knew it was just him holding him back from becoming Antonio Brown again. And then he escaped from the staircase and broke out of Tom Brady's house and no longer lived under his roof, and then took his shirt off and deuced out on the field and did what he did. And then it's one thing after another with Antonio Brown. And then you got Diggs, who's just causing all kinds of very similar early Antonio Brown behavior, early behavior of Antonio Brown back in the Pittsburgh Steelers days. And now that's all coming out right now. And I'm not saying that Diggs turns into to Antonio Brown. Please understand what I'm saying. I'm just saying we didn't think Antonio Brown would turn into the version of him we have now when he was in Pittsburgh, kind of starting to unravel, kind of starting to be a locker room toxicity, a poison, if you will, inside the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room. It felt very much like Diggs. He wasn't Antonio Brown as we know him today. He was the beginnings of him. He was the very, very initial creation. You know, like the Joker falling in the acid, and it's like, you know, starts becoming this monster. And that's what Antonio Brown slowly started to become. Now Antonio Brown got his XFL team kicked out of out of the league because he didn't pay his dues. The security was trying to throw him out of his own arena with his own team on the field. He's constantly causing these issues. And all I'm saying is Tyreek Hill, one of the biggest names in the game. Antonio Brown, one of the biggest names in the game. Stephon Diggs, one of the biggest names in the game. They're all acting in this crazy aggressive, hard to imagine and control behavior and disruptive behavior. And you got to look at why this is happening to the diva wide receivers going across the middle, getting hit left and right. I don't know what the solution is. I just feel like the NFL doesn't do anything about it. That's all I'm saying. And that is the news. Appreciate you all. And we've got a $20 super chat from Mr. Ron Navy. Actually, it's a $49 prediction.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron Navy dropping a massive wad on the screen. Appreciate Ron Navy. Appreciate all of you. Ron Navy says, let's see here. My cousin's emoji. That's right. Well, Ron, it's good that I haven't put the cousin's emoji up yet, because now you get a whole new reset week of Kenny Pickett. So I also don't want to take some of the emojis down, so I was waiting for another spot to open up. I want my cousin's TDs. Get your cousins for nothing. 4 TDs for free. He's going to throw them to Mr. JJ and a bunch more to Addison. He is going to win MVP. So that's Ron's bold prediction. Cousins wins MVP. Cousins wins MVP. Today is June 21st. Okay, so let's put this on the big board. Anybody else wants to put a bold prediction? Whoa, we got a lot of reverb and echo here. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Test. Okay. Anybody wants to get their bold prediction on the board, please drop a $49 or higher super chat, a $50 holler board. And if you have the best prediction voted by you, the chat, you will get to co-host the show with me. As a winning prize, you will get a lifetime membership to the fantasyfootballshow.com content membership. If you already have that content membership, you can certainly convert that into a draft call. I'm pretty flexible, so I could draft with you for an hour, which is the same price as the content membership. So we're going to put this on the board for Ron Navy. 621. Ron, Cousins MVP, right, Ron?
Yeah, but you read it all wrong.
What did I say? Get your Cousins for nothing and your TDs for free. He's going to throw them to Mr. JJ and a bunch more to Addison. He's going to win MVP. What did I read wrong?
Yeah, you're supposed to. I want my Cousins TDs. Get your Cousins for nothing and your TDs for free.
I never heard
that. He's going to throw them to Mr. JJ.
I've heard I want my Cousins at night. Yeah, I haven't heard that song, but here it is, Ron. MVP, Cousins MVP, 621. Look, if Cousins wins MVP, I firmly believe you'll have one of the boldest predictions here. There are some really bold predictions, but some of them I don't think will happen. So of the ones I think have, I don't think that's going to happen, but, that would be a bold one. Let's see here. Ron Navy. Let's see here. Let me look at some of the bold ones. Jimmy G's the next Tom Brady by Aloha. That was bold.
I think still the boldest one I made was JJ 2,400 yards.
JJ 2,400 yards. That is a bold one. Okay, so that's up there. Let me get these other super chats out of the way real quickly. Ron Navy, appreciate you dropping that. Anybody else wants to drop a $50 hauler, we will vote by chat as to who has the best bold prediction at the end of the season. You'll co-host a show. You'll get a free lifetime membership, maybe some other prizes. But go ahead, maybe a shirt, maybe a Grindhouse shirt, or maybe a Grindhouse hoodie. How about a Grindhouse hoodie? Let's do a Grindhouse hoodie. Now, Ron, I know you don't like or you need a certain size. I can try and look in to see if they have a bigger one for you if you win that one. Okay, Young dropping a super chat. Edward dropping a super chat. Ron Navy dropping another one. If he gambled on the size of the fish, he might get suspended. Yeah, hey, there's some more news about that, by the way. The NFL has made some updates to their gambling policies for the players, and there is one in particular that was interesting, that players are not, and this could have been potentially already in the mix, and we're just getting a chance to look and glance at the entire set of policies, but there were talked about as 6 changes, and one of those, let me see if it was here, one of those being that players cannot going forward play DFS. They can't play daily fantasy sports, and they can play, it seems to be, they can play fantasy football long term, like season long fantasy football, but they can't play daily fantasy football, which I don't know.
As long as the price is over $250, remember that.
Well, I don't think they can play daily fantasy football, period. That I believe.
No, they can't talk about fantasy football.
Yeah.
Fantasy football as long as the prices aren't over $250.
Yeah, but they cannot play daily fantasy, so that will be interesting. They also cannot step foot into a sports book while they're in the NFL, or at least during this. I think probably while they're in the NFL or in the season, they can't step foot in a sports book. And so some players going to walk right in. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. These players can't get a handle on these rules. They're very simple. There's really 6 of them they added. They're very, very simple. Young says Lance is at tight end university throwing to Kittle. Yeah, Young, I wish I could give you better news on Lance, but Lance has no shot at succeeding. And not with Shanahan there, not with these reports that I believe to be true by Schefter, that they're leaning Darnold. We've heard that for a long time. The team's leaning in that direction. You get the vibe when you talk to the team and they talk about Darnold, and the team's rapport with Darnold strong. They're hanging out with Darnold, not Trey Lance. And you could say, oh, that's weird, Smitty, to predict that Darnold is going to start because they go to a Suns game with Darnold, the players, McCaffrey, Kittle. Like the majority of the offense is going to the Suns games, to the Warriors games with Darnold and not Trey Lance. I mean, it is something to look at. There's a certain rapport between the players and this quarterback, Sam Darnold. And then you got beat reporters like that one guy, what was his name, Mayako or whatever, saying that he believes Sam Darnold might just be the best thrower in 49er history. You have this organization is enamored with Sam Darnold. So it sucks for Lance, bro.
He's going to have a hard time throwing those great passes on his back while T.J. Watt sacks him all day long.
I mean, honestly, the best thing for Trey Lance is not to start week 1 because the Steelers are going to destroy whoever gets in there. If it's Purdy, I think Purdy will be able to be way more efficient because the team's behind him, the playbook's behind him, the playbook's opened up to him. Like, Trey Lance is limited. Like, Shanahan doesn't give him the same system. So Trey Lance he's behind the 8 ball. You know, he goes back in there, he's going to get crushed. Sam Darnold's not a good quarterback. I don't care if he's got the whole playbook opened up or not. I don't know that he will be. He's not the same player as Purdy. Purdy's got escapability and a very, very good nose for the pocket and where to go, how to maneuver it, and his preparedness is amazing. Like Purdy comes with 2 very, very amazing qualities: preparedness and intelligence and pocket awareness, which you can't really teach. And Trey's coming in with a limited playbook. Trey's playbook is like Jimmy's. It's like this big. And they'll give Purdy the whole thing. And so I do believe whoever starts that's not Purdy will have a really rough day. And I think if Purdy starts, it'll just be a very good game, and we'll see how it works out. But Lance, I hate to be negative. I'm so sorry, pal. But I'm out. I will not own, draft, be involved in Trey Lance moving forward. Not because I don't have a heart and I should stick to my guns of this kid's got talent. My job is to adjust and adapt, and I'm making a maneuver, and I'm walking away. There's no way I'm getting on this train again. Shanahan will destroy him. He's already destroying him. He's setting up for failure, and anybody that expects Trey Lance to go out there and ball out and win the job, they're kidding themselves. Ron dropped this one. That one already did. We have I think one more here from Edward. Edward says, I called in last week about my 48 team Superflex start 8 in the league. Just traded Cook, Purdy, and 2 first-round picks for Garrett Wilson. Still have Goff, Godwin, Waller. This is that one where, you didn't have like a whole lot of options, and that's good, bro. So you have Goff. I forget if you have another quarterback in Superflex, but I doubt a lot of people have good quarterbacks anyway. Purdy could be valuable in this format, given this 48 teams, though. That's crazy. But Garrett Wilson's a stud, bro. I like it in general. I do like it, and I don't know what's in store for Purdy. I don't know if he'll stay healthy. I don't know if he'll get figured out and not be a great quarterback at the National Football League level in the long term. So I'm okay with that move. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson, to be honest. I would. I'm just saying, like, in that 48-team league, it is hard to imagine the value of a quarterback. It's probably so different than in a 12-team Superflex, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I understand the value. I'm not embedded in that league, but my confidence in whoever starts for San Francisco remaining the starter, so if it is Purdy, is low. So I don't want to get in bed with the San Francisco quarterback room at all. I'm out, bro. I'm out. I'm not going near it. Give me G. Willie all day long. Smitty approved. And then Isaac with the final super chat for the moment. Super chats will go straight to the front of the line. So drop one if you've got one.
You got one, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas. Yeah, Thomas and Isaac. Okay, ESPN has started cutting a bunch of shows to cover Pat McAfee buyout. It'll be interesting to see what direction ESPN goes in. Darnold over Pickett. No, bro. Like, honestly, like Pickett, I couldn't in a league where it mattered. It wasn't like an extra player that I wanted to throw like some upside on or just stash on the bench. You can't count on any of the San Francisco quarterbacks. So like Pickett would be really your only choice, even over Purdy, because you don't know if Purdy's going to be the starter. You don't know what's going on in that situation. But, could you take a stab if maybe you didn't need the position? You were like, it was your third quarterback. Then maybe you could go Purdy, but there's still a lot of risk involved. I know you're laughing. It's a laughing emoji, but maybe you're laughing. Maybe you wouldn't be laughing if it was Purdy. But Darnold, yeah, I mean, God, I can't believe Darnold's even being talked about as a starter. And is there a world where maybe he's efficient enough to win games in the Niner defense, because it's a great defense, somehow, some way squeaks out wins? It's possible, I guess, but I just can't see him looking good at all. I can't see him throwing missiles all over the field. This will be a very, very run-heavy, offense with Darnold behind it. And maybe they win a game or two. I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to look. All I know is that Sam Darnold is not a person I'm betting on or banking on at all whatsoever. And Thomas says, I heard Hyatt is practicing with the third team. Not good, ? Draft him in my Dynasty startup. Hoping he'll be all right. Thanks, Smitty. It's very early, Thomas. A lot of these guys sign their contracts late. I forget when Hyatt signed his, but practicing with the third team, it's crazy how, and Thomas actually talked about this the other day, it's crazy how a simple report like that, where you hear somebody just merely say, nothing negative, just a report that comes out that says, hey, he's practicing with the third team, paying his dues. And there's nothing negative, like it's going to be hard pressed for him to climb up. And we all just start jumping off of drafting him. Like, I admit, I had a couple drafts when I normally would have taken Hyatt. I said, you know what? Maybe I'll go this direction right now because I don't really know when he's going to have his opportunity. But this is the one thing I do know to be true. Despite being a very crowded New York Giant wide receiver room, because there are a lot of mouths to feed. Hodgins, you've got Slayton, you've got a bunch of people there, and Hyatt's trying to find his way into the third wide receiver slot before he can climb any higher. It's not the most talented. Like, it's a deep crew with experience in the system, and with Danny Dimes still learning and trying to get better and grow. I'm sure they are looking to Slayton over Hyatt initially. So Hyatt's a long-term redraft play if you draft him at all in redraft. Your expectation shouldn't be week one. And that's honestly the case for a lot of these guys. Even Kincaid, who I do think will have a nice shot to blow up in week one and just off to the races from the get-go. There still needs to be, like what I said, Kenneth Walker last year, like with players that you didn't know what was in store for them in week one, you have to exercise patience, and you can't be knee-jerked and reactive with these guys like Hyatt and Kincaid and Laporta. And I do think they're all going to get targets, but maybe Hyatt. But you can't be reactive. You can't be reactive. And in Dynasty, you wouldn't be. You're not going to cut him in Dynasty, but you're already getting a little bit down on a guy that's just learning the system. Like, there may be 4 or 5 weeks where he does literally nothing, but he could turn it on at the end. Keep in mind that Watson and Dotson, Christian Watson and Jahan Dotson both had phenomenal rookie years where they scored 7 touchdowns. Did Watson have 7 or 8? Dotson had 7. And they had nearly identical seasons, like 800 yards, 7 touchdowns, looked really good. But those were amazing rookie years where they didn't really get going until certain points in the season. And that could be what Hyatt does. He could be in like week 8 on, be that 700, 800 guy in like that time frame. So you need to be very, 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 very patient with him. I don't think it's horrible news. Would I have loved to have seen him? Oh, he climbed into the 1 spot already. Of course I would, but that's a high expectation that's rarely going to happen for a rookie wide receiver that walks into a system like Dable's, he's got to learn it. It'll happen, though. He's such a good player. It will happen eventually, and it wouldn't be shocking if it was his second year that he really blew up, but it'll happen. Let's go to Scuba Steve real quick, who's been waiting patiently, although it's kind of his fault because he called in the very beginning of the show. Scuba, what can I do for you? Hopefully you're not calling out of the country and racking up those minutes. What can I do for you, Scuba?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not calling out the country or anything like that. I was actually gonna call in to I wanted to talk about the Sam Darnold stuff, but I was reading about the Dalvin Cook stuff that Adam Schefter, he went on Pat McAfee's show, and he said that Dalvin Cook might be interested in linking up with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is, but
well, it's accurate in that it came out of Dalvin Cook's mouth. Dalvin Cook was interviewed by Schefter on Schefter's podcast, and he's just having conversation. He's just talking. He has no say, Scuba. Just because Dalvin Cook wants to play with Hopkins, you think a team's going to actually bring them both in? You know how hard it is for a team to even sign Hopkins? Like, Hopkins is not getting signed. No, the interest isn't really there. And so we're looking at maybe 2 or 3 teams that have interest, like the Patriots and the Titans and other teams that just kind of aren't making offers, or their offers have been really weak and we just haven't heard about them yet. Sometimes that happens. But what do you think the likelihood is that a running back like Dalvin Cook, just kind of oblivious to, the contract situations for these teams, is just going to say, I'd love to play with Hopkins. Let's bring them both in. The likelihood of a team needing Cook and signing Cook, and the likelihood of a team needing Hopkins and signing Hopkins are like 3 out of 32 chance. So there's no, it's not happening. It was a fun thing to think about for a millisecond, like what team could bring on both of them, but that's not going to happen. Neither one of them has enough pull to even say, I want you to bring him with me. And they're not even close. It's just Dalvin Cook kicked it around with Shefty for a millisecond, and people were acting like it's possible. There's so many people out there who are like, how could this happen? What team could they go to? Like there's some sort of like situation that was unfolding where they were both going to go together to play together. It's like karate in the garage, with Denny. That's about how, organized this was. But,
Hey, Smitty.
Yeah.
Paul Woofer gifted 10 memberships.
Paul, I got to turn on my YouTube exclusive iPad right here so that I can see these. Paul dropping 10 gifted memberships.
To the moon.
Paul, my man. The myth, the legend. Appreciate you, Paul. Let's see if I can. Yeah, here we go. Paul, oh wait, we got another one. Paul gifted 10, and then Paul gifted another 10. Paul gifted 20. That is a $20 hauler, essentially.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat.
All right, what else you got, Scuba? Thank you, Paul. Paul's my man.
The only other thing right now is that from the news about the Sam Darnold stuff is, I just think it's crazy that for whatever reason Trey Lance can't see the field, and the 49ers just seem like, or maybe it's just like maybe it's a rift, and Kyle Shanahan just seems adamant with just playing Sam Darnold. I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's if him and John Lynch ain't on the same page or whatever it could be. But I mean, just to come out and say that Brock Purdy can't go, and all of a sudden he'd rather play Sam Darnold over Trey Lance.
Well, no one said it. This is Schefter. This is Schefter. No one said it. Shanahan's not going to come out and say it. You got to be a little careful, Scuba. I feel like you, and I appreciate you again. Please don't ever take me. I'm trying to. You're like a good little segment because you come in. We got scared Scotty, who comes in and says something scared and petrified, and then we've got other people that call. You're like the guy who calls in so I can just debunk every single report that you're kind of like, what is this, Smitty? What is this? So don't take it the wrong way, but you do accept these things as if they've been said. Like Shanahan said this when somebody's reporting on it. Shanahan's not telling anybody anything. That guy keeps everything close to the vest. So no one said that Sam Darnold is starting from the Niners side of the fence. This is all speculative stuff from Adam Schefter. And in the Niners' defense of it not being true, let's say, Schefter is kind of weird lately. And Ian Rappaport too. They've gotten very, very, very offended by people breaking news and doing their job for them, because now with social media being so big, guys like Trey Wingo have a connect in a communication line with Aaron Rodgers, and they don't. And there's some beef between, I think, Wingo and those guys, it seems, because they don't retweet any of his breaking news. And Schefter and Rappaport very much are in the business of retweeting and sharing a lot of other people's information and being looking like they're altruistic with giving credit to people, and they won't even touch Trey Wingo's tweets or nothing. They're very, very upset at Trey Wingo. But Schefter has been stepping out of his lane a lot. And the problem with Schefter and Rappaport is they think of it like this. They do all the grunt work and they do all this factual reporting. And we've all come to love Rappaport. Remember, there was no hate for Rappaport. Everybody is tired of Schefter, and so they jumped on Team Rappaport. And then Rappaport started acting a little bit like the way Schefter started acting, and just kind of irritating people with his stepping outside of his lane, wanting to be this like content creator with the breaking news, angle, and not knowing the difference, not clearly defining when he's giving an opinion and when he's just factually reporting. Because we've come to know Schefter and Rappaport as the guy that literally gets the phone call, right? This is how we've seen them. This is Adam. Okay, that's done deal. Good. Got breaking news. I just got a call from, and it's like, that's what we've come to know. But then when Schefter and Rappaport come in with some sort of like, Dalvin Cook's likely to be the, over in the Miami Dolphins, or I'm hearing, or I believe that Sam Darnold has the edge. He's becoming this content creator, but there's a blurred line because there's actually 100%, I could say with certainty, Scuba, there is zero information on whether Sam Darnold is truly going to start week 1. But I do believe Schefter's got a good line and is hearing things from people that are good predictors in reading the situation, watching the practices, telling him, hey, Sam's looking so much better in practice. The way that Kyle's answering these questions makes me feel like Sam's getting a shot. The fact that Shanahan did say they would split time, with the first reps. The fact that Sam Darnold started off the veteran camp day 1 as the starter taking snaps, and then that Trey would rotate the next day. Those are all pieces to the puzzle. And I just want to be clear, I'm totally in the guesstimation business. Like, that's what I do. It's okay, I'm trying to read the tea leaves. But Schefter has developed his reputation in Rappaport too, and not being that guy. They're the guy that gives guys like me, the talking heads, some sort of stuff to then run my opinion around, and I just feel like Schefter and Rappaport are blurring the lines, and it pisses people off. It pisses people off because we now can't trust Rappaport or Schefter to bring us facts. We're like, what is this? I don't know how to read this. He's not being clear. So no one knows, bro. No one knows. But I will tell you, my guess is that, Sam Darnold is probably a lead dog to be the starter. Why do I feel that way? Because he took the first reps with the team on opening veteran camp day. And on top of that, the rapport between all the players and Darnold is there. Trey's been set up to fail from the beginning. And number 3, they signed Sam Darnold on the first day of free agency. Like, they rushed out so no one else could get him. What does that tell you? They don't trust Trey Lance. Yeah. But that's all we have. We don't have anything else.
And, well, I was going to say, not only that, I mean, I don't know. You had the 49ers beat reporter saying that he was the best thrower since Steve Young or whatever it was.
No, Scuba, you got it wrong. Scuba, you got it wrong again, Scuba. He said he was the best thrower in 49er history. Not since Steve Young. Not since Joe Montana. That he was the best thrower in 49er history. Might just be the best thrower in 49er history, I think was his paraphrasing his word for word. That's not sense. That he's saying he could be better than Joe Montana and Steve Young. This is the main beat reporter, I believe, that's considered to be the main beat reporter for the Niners, which is absolutely the most ridiculous comment I've ever seen in my life.
No, I definitely agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he got it from like who in camp was like trying to tell him this type of stuff. Because I mean, like, I would have to know, like in all seriousness, like for this guy to actually say that, I mean, he's got to know deep down that that's definitely not true. But he, I mean, like as like the reporter for them, like I feel like it's almost like somebody in the camp is just like pro Darnold, so they're like, let me just like put this out there, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like I don't know if it's like people from like Kyle Shanahan's side, if there's like two different sides from like the 49ers or something like that.
Yeah, hold on, we got an improper use of an emoji on the channel. Improper use of an emoji.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Improper use of an emoji. We have a crying emoji used with the Darnold not starting by O Genius. O Genius, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Dial into the show. Tell me why Sam Darnold is not starting, and you're so confident you're putting a crying emoji at the front of it. I don't know. I don't know where you're getting your information or what on earth is making you feel this way, but the phone line's open, and Frost says, Smitty, pick 5 keepers, JJ, Tyreek, Marsman, Rockout, dialing it. Marsman, calling again. I just missed you, Marsman, Rockout. Smitty, pick 5 keepers, JJ, Tyreek, Olave, Josh Allen, Ramondre, Pitts, Pierce, T. Law, Herbert. Love your work, big dog. Hey, I don't know. You didn't say super flex, but you have 2 quarter. I don't know. So I'm assuming it's not a super flex. I'm going JJ, let's see, JJ. So pick 5. JJ, Tyreek, Olave, Josh Allen, and Ramondre. Clear as day. Like, that's it. If it's a super flex, you're gonna take out probably, I guess Ramondre, and you're gonna put T. Law in there. Yeah. I guess you could take out Tyreek. You could take Tyreek and put Ramondre in because Tyreek is, older, but it's keeper. Keeper in Dynasty is very different. Keeper. I mean, in a keeper league, Tyreek Hill still has a whole lot higher value than he does in a dynasty. Dynasty is very different. But that's probably what I would do. But if it's a 1 QB, then you're unfortunately letting Law go. But you could trade T Law, or if you could get more, like terms of like draft picks and such, you could technically trade Josh Allen and roll with T Law. That might get you more, and trade Herbert away if that's Justin Herbert, if that's Khalil Herbert. I don't know. We got Scared Scotty on the phone. Scared Scotty, what are you scared about today, pal? He sounds stressed.
It's kind of 2 players. Hill
he sounds stressed.
And Waddle. Hill not so much.
Who?
He's quarterback proof, but Waddle scares me to death. There's too many guys around him that can put up the same kind of numbers. But Tua is a hit away from his career being over.
I don't disagree with you. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, Scared Scotty and I share the same viewpoint.
Hill is draft Hill until late first round. He's not lasting to then. And Waddle, just the group that's around him, I'm not putting him over. He has to. I'm not a big fan of drafting the second option on a team anyway, especially early.
I think Scotty's been watching my show finally. I think you've finally been catching on to the content, Scotty. We're in agreement here. And honestly, I don't mind Tyreek Hill because I think you said this too. A little bit more quarterback proof. The touchdowns won't be there though. As much as I love Mike White, I don't know that the touchdowns will be there like they will with Tua. Mike White is definitely a fun prospect, and if he does get on the field, I'm going to be so excited to watch him play. But he's more of a surgeon, drain the clock management. Could still have 300-yard games, but he's going to be a little bit lesser in the potential touchdown department. Maybe not. Maybe Mike White finally becomes what we've always kind of hoped he'd become. But certainly, Tyreek Hill's touchdown production is volatile this year, in my opinion, and so is Waddle's because of Tua and the changing of quarterbacks and the fact that Mike White really hasn't been able to stay healthy. So, do I kind of envision, if I had to predict that 2 teams that would be quarterbackless walking into the playoffs or into a situation where they're not going to make the playoffs because they have no quarterback in week 14, 15, 16, 17, they lose out, it would be the Miami Dolphins, who did not, in my opinion, do what they needed to do, given the talent on the roster, given the fact that the Miami Dolphins have the best arsenal of wide receivers in the National Football League, or arguably top 5 if you want to go and say A.J. Brown and Devontae or that, or Chase and Higgins. I get it. It's fine. That's arguable. But my point is, you have a coach that has a window of opportunity to win. He's got a track and field team on the field, and he rolls the dice again with Tua Tagovailoa, which I'm rooting for him. I'm not wishing ill will upon him. I hope I'm wrong, but there's there's just little shot in my mind he's going to stay upright. And the concussions that he encountered 2 in one game, maybe, we'll find out, put him in, this is a pretty educated guess, in the most fragile of states out of any concussed player that we're going to see in the next decade. Like, he's going to be a mess when he gets hit in the head. It's just not something I think he's going to recover from, because concussions, 9 times out of 10, Steven, a concussion leads you to a quicker concussion every time you have one. You're more susceptible to concussions every single time you have one. I'm not saying there aren't outliers. I'm not saying Brandon Cooks doesn't throw a monkey wrench in this potential argument, because he certainly does, because he was a concussive mess, and now he doesn't suffer them at all. But it's also, you'd be told by a concussion specialist, a person that dedicates their entire life to concussions, that nobody really knows about them because it's an enigma. It is the brain. It is a mystery, and it's hard to know what the heck's going on. But I think Tua is not a good bet, and therefore that makes me also worry tremendously about Hill and Waddle sustaining their week 1 value that Tua will provide them. And so, trade high candidates for me, to be honest.
Now, going back to this Dalton thing, or Darnold thing, the Darnold thing. There's no way he's starting week 1.
Why? Why is there no way, Scotty? Why is there no way? Why?
Because they gave up 2 first-round draft picks for Trey Lance.
3. You're wrong. 3 first-round draft picks for Trey Lance.
Well, 3, but they got that one. So essentially just 2. But if they start Darnold over him, kills trade value. It's gone. It's over. And I just don't think that they'll do that. That's drastic. You're just saying he's not even good enough to get past Darnold now?
Scott, why do you think we go live and talk about it so much? Why do you think I'm so hard on Shanahan? Because he does these things, and he's doing it right in front of your face right now. He's splitting first-team reps with Trey Lance. He has said that Sam Darnold will potentially compete to start for this team. He's not handing anything to Trey. He's saying Trey's looking good. He's got an opportunity to take, his job back in a sense. But if you believe that Kyle Shanahan isn't capable of starting Sam Darnold when he's ruined Trey Lance and refuses to play him already, and there's no trade value for him anyway. He couldn't trade him for anything right now. Nobody wants Trey Lance. He's broken, and his own team doesn't believe in him. So I honestly think absolutely there's a strong chance, and I would say stronger than 50%, that Sam Darnold would suit up for week 1 if Purdy was not ready. I think just because you're using your own logic, Scared Scotty, you got to understand Shanahan doesn't think like you. It doesn't matter what he gave up. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, Scotty, and that's part of the problem. He doesn't know quarterbacks. He has an amazing scheme. He is an offensive savant. No one's taken that away from Kyle Shanahan. But he is a pitiful, awful, awful quarterback decision maker. It dates back to Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Tom Brady. And that goes on John too. They didn't bring in Tom Brady because Jimmy was only marginally lesser. Tom Brady goes to Tampa, wins the Super Bowl the first year. It's on and on and on, bro. It's on and on and on.
I just can't. It's hard for me to believe that even is truly a thought.
There's a lot of things that are hard for you to believe, Scotty.
Competition for growth for the players.
Scotty, you're using logic. Logic doesn't play in here. Isn't it logical? Isn't it logical that Kamara should be suspended? That's not happening.
Oh, he's getting suspended. They're waiting. My guess is the reason they're waiting on that is because it doesn't come out and rule to self-defense. It's ruled to self-defense, and they're not. That's what they've got to.
Okay, Scotty. Next topic. We could dance around all these all day.
Yeah.
Scotty, you and I disagree on so much. And even when we're trying to agree, we're disagreeing. But go ahead, Scotty. What else worries you today?
We agree on more what you think.
That's what you think. I disagree. What else can we do, Scotty, for you? What's worrying you today? Hold on. Overcome's dropping a $50 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Overcome says Nick Chubb. Overcome says Nick Chubb is running back 1. Overcome, Nick Chubb, running back 1. Nice prediction, Overcome, and I appreciate your $50 holler. If anybody else wants to get on the $50 holler board, drop a $50 holler on the board, and the winner will be co-hosting a show with your boy and winning a lifetime membership. A lifetime membership to the fantasyfootballshow.com. Appreciate you dropping that. All right, go ahead. Scared Scott.
I'll give you one more scared guy I'm scared of. Austin Ekeler.
Okay. Well, now you're just watching my show again. Now you've been paying attention. I'm scared about Ekeler too. I mean, he's 28 years old. Those are obvious. That's obvious Oscar stuff.
The 28 doesn't bother me as much.
Of course it doesn't.
As
Because why would we agree?
As much as no, it does. It does. But the part that really worries me more is the amount of targets that Zeke and Pollard got in Dallas. Very minimal. There was something like 65 targets between the two, and I'm not sure they're going to be looking to do that as much with Ekeler for him to get all those points. And he's not a 1,300-yard running back. And
I think also Eckler's age is a concern. His workload's a concern. His stature is a concern. And the changing offense is a concern for sure. He's definitely a concern. There's definitely a concern. There's no way around it. You have that much mileage. Even if you're getting a lot of receptions, you're going to have a high risk of injury and a potential drop-off. And then the changing offense to boot is another concern. So I agree with you on that one. Runner Boy says rank them: Burrow, Fields, Herbert, Andy Dalton. In the exact order that you listed them there, Runner Boy. Somebody said in the chat, where's that at? Smitty is a Elon Musk fanboy, says Mark. I love Elon Musk. You think I'm ashamed to admit that Elon Musk is a marvel, that he's a patriot of free speech, and that he is giving Wi-Fi out to people that don't have it, and he's trying to solve world problems, and he's creating rockets and flying them, and he's trying to save humanity. What kind of Mark D, are you against Elon Musk or something? What kind of person could be against Elon Musk who's trying to figure out how to get humanity on Mars, so that if an asteroid or something takes this planet out, our civilization can move on, humanity can move on? Elon Musk is trying to solve problems, and he's a hero. So if you think this offends me, maybe Mark D is just saying this in a good way, but I don't think he is. He's saying Smitty is an Elon, capital letters, fanboy. Like I'm supposed to be offended by it. Like, of course I love Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a leader. He's a leader. What are you talking about? All right. Anyway.
Great men in America right now.
He's what?
He's one of the great men in America right now.
Now we can get behind something, Scared Scotty. I'm surprised you aren't scared of him. I'm really surprised you aren't scared of him. Let's go back to Ron Navy. Or let's go Rock Out. Rock Out's on the phone. Marsman, Rock Out. Marsman, Rock Out.
Yeah, if Dalvin Cook goes to Miami, where would you have him ranked?
I guess I would say we need to kind of hear what the idea behind, like, what's the contract? The contract will tell us a lot. The contract will definitely tell us a lot. I would say if he gets, like, potentially, If he gets like there's a crazy report saying 2 years, $21 million. He's not getting that. He's not. First of all, he's getting probably a 1-year deal. I mean, anything's possible, but people acting like they know what he's getting. He can't. The Dolphins can't even talk to him. He's not released yet. So, the contract will tell us a lot. If he gets like Monty money, which he's probably not, but you never know, then maybe he climbs to Alexander Madison's level. I don't think I could honestly draft him any higher than Alexander Madison when he's in a very crowded running back room. Very great offense, very good system, tons of upside if he starts, but he's in a no better situation than Madison, so how can we rank him higher? That's a pretty good spot. So that's like 5 to 6 round territory, and it's not a territory I actually exactly love. Like, I don't know that I'll be taking a bunch of them. I don't know that I maybe even take them like out of like every 15 underdog drafts. I bet you I'd take them in one, if that. Like I think he's going to the Jets, bro. What?
I think he's going to the Jets, bro.
That's where. What makes you think that? Just because somebody reported it? Because it is. It's been reported all over. Somebody said that'd be a good landing spot. People are like you are scared about Breece Hall's a knee, and they're speculating what team could use him. There's no information, Scotty, that's actually legitimate out there, because guess what? It's tampering. So nobody can talk to him. It's all just conjecture, and the Jets aren't worried about Breece Hall's knee. Is it possible? I suppose, but I think that is a spec report that people are running with because they're just bored. I mean, it's worth reporting on because it's out there quite a bit, but I don't think there's any legitimacy to any of this because
X Factor is reporting Cook is showing interest in the New York Jets now 3 hours ago.
Yeah, but Cook may be asked, do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? He wants to get a job, but that doesn't mean the Jets are interested. We'll have to find out. What matters is if the Jets are interested. He also thinks he's going to play with DeAndre Hopkins. It's not going to happen. He can want a lot of things.
Yeah, I heard that rumor. What if he were to go to Jacksonville?
I mean, the thing is, obviously, there's what we want and what can happen are two different things, and what the team should do and what the team will do are two different things as well. You know what I mean? Like we feel like, okay, if I was the team, would I take him? If I was the Jacksonville Jaguars, you bet I would. If I was the Jets and he was cheap enough, I'd even consider it, sure. But that doesn't mean we want it. Like, I don't want that for ETN. I don't want that for Breece, but that's not going to get in the way of my objective, like looking, my objective angle of it. Do I feel like the Jets are going after him? No. That Jets report, let me find it here. It's all spec. It's all just like Atlantic reporters and people saying, well, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, it would be a good fit for the New York Jets. Oh my God, you hear that? Roto World and NBC Sports just reported that Dalvin Cook could go to the Jets, and then everybody starts talking about it because Roto World and NBC Sports reported on it. Whereas if the Athletic just left it alone or just reported and NBC didn't pick it up, it wouldn't do anything. Dalvin Cook with some interesting recent followers by New York Jets, and then people start, New York Jets followed him. People want him to come there. It's just creating interest and buzz. Now, could he land there? It's possible. I'm not saying it can't happen, but we have no information that it's going to happen. Is what I'm saying. And not to mention, I believe that came from Schefter. What like when Schefter was asked, where do you think Dalvin Cook will be a good fit? I believe Schefter is the one that said, I think the Jets would be a good fit. And that was it. That was like what had happened. That's what I say when I say that Adam Schefter now blurs the line between his opinion and fact, and he doesn't distinguish between the two. And now everybody's reporting this, and they're going to get it wrong, and then they're going to be upset at Schefter. They're going to say, where did this come from, Schefter? He didn't go to the Jets. Schefter's full of crap. And that's why Schefter gets himself in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, Smitty.
Hey, Smitty, I was just going to say, what do you think that Kevin's I don't know how much pull he has with the Browns, but do you think that Stefanski would try to talk to them to bring Dalvin Cook in? Because, I mean, he does have familiarity with him when he was with the Vikings. I mean, I don't know like how much pull you would have if that's something that you'd want to do. Because I mean, they did have that 2 running back scheme between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So I want to put it like I wouldn't be surprised if that guy tries to bring in like Dalvin Cook or something.
Yeah, I mean, all these places, even New York, is possible. Like all of it's possible. We have no leads on it. It's all like, but from my speculative point of view, do I think that the Browns could make a play? I mean, I could see him trying to support Deshaun Watson because guess what? If Deshaun Watson fails, the Browns are toast for 10 years, for a decade. Everything is relying on Deshaun Watson. So everything should be about supporting him. And that's why the Cleveland Browns should be going out of their way to go get DeAndre Hopkins. And I believe that, yeah, they should go out of their way to bring in anybody that can help this team make the playoffs and make that trade and that contract look smart. Because right now they don't look smart. And so Dalvin Cook and Hopkins would be a good location. That'd probably be the one location where they probably could land together because they need to do everything they can. But is Nick Chubb the guy? Absolutely. Is Ford the backup and looking really good? Yeah, everyone says Kareem Hunt's gone and now Chubb's going to get all this extra work. I don't know if that's actually the case. I think that Ford's going to take on that role and Ford's going to look pretty decent. So I don't know if I necessarily agree that losing a step, Kareem Hunt leaving, is actually a bad thing for the backup running back room in Cleveland. I think Ford's going to do better than Kareem Hunt was doing. Kareem Hunt got old, and it kind of happened under our nose. We kind of didn't realize it was happening. We kept hoping Kareem Hunt would find another job, but he's been in the league a while. And you remember KC, his rookie year, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. It's so, time flies. But Ford's probably better than him. So I don't... You what?
I think the Rams make sense.
Yeah, especially with Akers' injury risk.
Hurt buddy going to the Rams. Except the Aker guys.
You know, part of me wonders if it is Miami, though, the most likely, because I do feel like if you read into Miami Mike's reaction, if, let's say, you're worried about tampering, right? You're going to react the way he did. And you're going to say, if you think I'm going to get in that boat. He sounded like oblivious. He didn't even make sense. It was really weird. He's like, I was born, blah, 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 blah. And he just went on this weird, like, way of saying I wasn't born yesterday. It was just really drawn out. It was a horrible joke. It was painful to watch. But if they weren't interested in Dalvin Cook, he could have easily just said, we like what we have. We're not interested, in things like that. We're not looking at anybody right now or whatever. He didn't say that. He said something very weird, regarding I can't say. So it was like that's why I think that Miami's definitely a potential landing spot. Then again, he didn't make any sense that day. So maybe anything he says shouldn't be looked at as like a tell. But I don't know. I think the Jet, look, again, I just want to make it very clear. The Jets could be the spot. I have no idea. The point I'm making is nobody knows. This whole 2-year, $21 million deal with either the Jets or the Dolphins is what a lot of people think is going to happen. They speak about it like there's some sort of information out there. We don't know what's going to happen. Nobody can talk to Dalvin Cook right now. It would be tampering. He is still not officially released. He gets released officially on Friday, and the team's still going to try and make a trade. They're still going to try and trade for him. But we also have to keep in mind that it's not like the interest is lacking because he's not able to be talked to right now. So like DeAndre Hopkins, when he was cut, and we all kind of had some very quick reactions, and I did too, but they proved to be right, that the market's not there for him. And then we had to be patient, though, because we had a lot of buildup for his release. And then the weekend came, and the holiday made it to where it was surprisingly not executed the release until Monday. So he technically could have still been traded over the weekend. And so people thought maybe he'll get traded last second. Maybe that delay is going to cause the team to swoop in and say, well, we'll give you like a very, very end of the draft type of draft pick just to get him and not compete with other teams for his services. And that didn't happen. But then we didn't hear any real big news on Hopkins. Same thing with Dalvin Cook. We could end up walking into like no real action or people racing to go sign him. But I mean, he also could sign with the Dolphins like within 24 hours. He could go immediately visit with a team and sign a contract right then and there. Could it be the Jets? Maybe. Is Breece Hall not far along and we don't know. There's something being hidden from us. We don't know that. I'm pretty sure everything's going great. And I don't know that they would bring in Dalvin Cook. I think that would probably step on Breece Hall's toes in a way that you wouldn't want to step on those toes that way. I think there is a certain level of respect you give a guy like Breece Hall. And I think bringing in Dalvin Cook would be a big, I don't know, slap in the face to him. I think that might be why Javonte also isn't looking at a tremendous Dalvin Cook threat right now, although that could develop because, again, we don't have any answers or clarity around whether they're actually going to go after Cook or not because no one can talk to him. But teams could also openly say, we have no interest in going after anybody, and that's not tampering. But the way Miami Mike answered it made me feel like he didn't want to say anything. Scared Scotty. What else?
Yeah, but what if they show interest in Cook? Does that put a concern for Breece?
I just alluded to that, Scared Scotty. I mean, if they bring him in, it steps on Breece Hall's toes.
Well,
Breece, what did I say?
It's not stepping on the toes as much as do they think that he's not going to be fully healthy this year.
Well, Scotty, you're drawing conclusions where there's just if they brought him in, there would be, like I just said, are we not being told something? We'd have questions for sure, but everything we've been told, there'd have to be a setback we don't know about because he's very much ahead of schedule.
20 miles an hour. Yeah.
What?
He just hit 22 miles an hour on a GPS.
I don't follow.
Breece Hall the coach reported that they put a GPS on him and he's already hit 22 miles per hour on it.
Okay.
That's fucking cooking.
Yeah. I don't know what we're talking about here. I mean, we love Breece Hall here. Everything we've heard is he's way ahead of schedule. And like I said, I think it'd be stepping on his toes to bring him in. I don't think they want to bring Dalvin Cook in and make Breece Hall feel like we don't have confidence in you. They drafted a Banacanda. He's a good running back. I think that's a good backup. They like Michael Carter. I don't think there's necessarily room for Dalvin Cook. If you bring Dalvin Cook in, you got to pay him big dollars because he's not going to be cheap. It's going to be a pretty decent sized contract. And on top of that, I mean, would it be smart to do from a coaching perspective? You could argue that, sure. But at the same time, I don't want Breece Hall not on the field. I know a lot of people are going to say you got to stay away from his first year back from ACL tears. Those are scared Scotties. No offense, Scott. Those are scared Scotties that don't want to believe that every ACL injury is different, and they are. And if it was
I watched him do it and I saw Jamal Charles do it. So I'm not as worried about that with just the ACL. Now, Javonte Williams, I think, is a wasted pick, but
I don't know about wasted, but he's definitely going to need more patience. You can't expect him and Breece Hall to be in the same place. That's for certain. But Scott, you also have to consider ADP. Javonte's going in, let's say, round 7, and Hall's going in round 3, 2, 3. So there's definitely a difference in ADP. So like you got to factor that in. But you could be right. Maybe Javonte does what JK did all year, and he never really gets going. That's certainly possible. He had a much more severe ACL tear, and he had a LCL tear as well. And there's a whole lot more going into his recovery. There's a lot more concern. There's talk about PUP. Sean Payton's going to keep everything very close to his vest. You can't trust what Sean Payton says. He even told you that. He said that they're not going to necessarily let us know what's going on. Ziggy, show me the front door. They're not necessarily gonna tell us what's going on. Is this the mailman? Is this Miss Smitty? What's going on here? Oh, Miss Smitty's home.
Prime.
Miss Smitty's home. She's home early. That means I don't have to take care of the cat. I'm responsible now. Miss Smitty just came in one day. Ziggy, off. Miss Smitty just came in. Ziggy, off. Miss Smitty came in one day and just said, hey, here are the insulin shots. Here's the insulin. The cat needs a shot at 6:30 every single day. Right now, it is almost 6 o'clock my time. So that means that in about 43 minutes, I would be required to say, hold on, everybody. I might even put it on. I don't know if I put it on the show, but I got to go in and I got to give the cat an insulin shot. And I'm like, I'm not a veterinarian. I don't know what I'm doing. So I real quickly, I learned. She threw me straight to the fire. And I learned how to give a cat insulin shots. And I forgot yesterday. She came in. She was irate. She said, has the cat had a shot yet? It was like 7:30. It's like, no. And so, so I'm looking at the clock right now. And I'm like, okay, and she just pulled in. So I don't have to do the shot today. I don't have to do the insulin. I don't have to stab the cat today. Okay, let's go over to Ron Navy real quick, and then Scared Scotty, why don't you brew up another petrified situation we can talk about? Hello, Ron?
I'm here.
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, hold on. Actually, Ron, while you cook up something, let me hit these super chats real quick. Thomas dropping a super chat. Sick Nasty, appreciate you dropping a super chat. Who else dropped a super chat here? We got Melvin dropping a super chat. Ron Navy, thank you, Smitty, and Ron Navy to the moon. We got the Instagram messages today. I don't know if anybody's left any yet. Let me go on over to the voice message group. I don't think you guys left any. Melvin, you didn't leave a message yet. No pressure to if you want to. And in my IG exclusive group, none of you have left a message today. If any of you want to leave me daily voicemails, and I just showed you how easy it is for me to play your message because we literally have 30 people in there. Not one person's left a message for today. And you could get your messages played and answered on the show. And I even hold down the record button and leave the response in here so you don't have to hunt through the show. If you miss it, you can play my response inside the message. Just click subscribe in my Instagram profile. So Melvin, appreciate you for the $2 hauler, Melvin. And let's go on over to Sick Nasty Super Chat. Is Carter trash now if the Jets are interested in Cook? They're not interested in Cook to our knowledge. Sick Nasty, we're jumping the gun on that. But if they signed him, yes, he would definitely be trash and would be devastated for Breece Hall. But I think we're jumping the gun, assuming that the Jets have any interest. Thoughts on a wide receiver Van Jefferson for Dynasty? Not a big believer in him. I don't love the situation, let alone the player. Suffered the ACL tear. I don't know. He had upside, but it was he's very hard pressed to earn the ability for me to, I don't know, believe that he was going to become something special on any level, like even elite wide receiver 3 material. He showed signs of maybe becoming a wide receiver 3. He did. He showed signs of it, but then he tore his ACL. I believe he tore his ACL, right? Didn't he? Van Jefferson, I think he did. Yeah, tore his ACL. And I don't know. How's he going to come back in this situation? I'm worried enough about Cooper Kupp. I definitely don't want to go in that direction. I do love Stetson Bennett a lot, though. But I just think that it's not going to be Van Jefferson, in my opinion, that becomes like the future star there. Is he somebody to grab in deep dynasty leagues? I guess. But certainly not on the Van Jefferson train by any means. Could I change my mind? I always reserve the right to change my mind. I don't always love every player right out of the gate, and Van's not a young upcoming player or anything, so it's not like that's the exact case here. But I sometimes don't love a player and then they start proving themselves to me, like could Mechie turn into some amazing wide receiver? Maybe, I'm not like super high on Mechie. I'm high on a guy like Tank Dell, but things change. Van Jefferson probably should be grabbed, I suppose, but I was in a dynasty league, I'm in a dynasty league with a bunch of you, and I went and grabbed McKinnon. We have very small benches. I went and grabbed Sam Howell. I was scooping up players like that in the offseason, and I'm not going near Van Jefferson's, just to give you an idea. Like he's sitting out there floating there, and I'm not grabbing him. Isaac, appreciate your super chat. I think I got everybody's super chat. Could somebody let me know if I did not answer their super chat yet? I got Ron's. He dropped his. Edward, Young, Ron, Isaac, Thomas, Frost, Runner Boy, Overcome, Melvin, Sick Nasty, and Thomas. Appreciate you all dropping those super chats. Appreciate you. Just came in, boys, that Darnold news. The Darnold get axed for, what is this? What are you saying? What is J-Rob saying? This year's top 5 QB. What? What are you talking about? First of all, you're cutting and pasting over and over. Superstar Trey Lance. Bro, Trey's not going to be a superstar. I hate to break it to you. I was one of his biggest fans coming out of college. He's not going to be a superstar. He's probably not going to even start a single game. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. And I know you're excited about the Niners, but it's not going to happen, bro. Shanahan's destroying that opportunity right in front of your eyes. And I know it's really hard to take, but it's the truth. I'm just hitting you with the truth. Let's go back over to, Ice Pop is great. I've got the Tropical Punch here right now, but I love Ice Pop on Prime. That's good. I reached out to Prime. You need to be, I could have a stack of Prime bottles just sitting like right here. You know, we could be promoting Prime. I told him. So, we're waiting to hear back. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I do want Prime to swing it as a sponsor. What else we talking about here? Scuba, what else you got?
Hey, Smitty, one of my leagues, somebody decided it'd be cool to, if they thought it was a bright idea to only have it so you can only roster one quarterback. So if your quarterback goes on like a bye week, it's up to you if you want to keep your quarterback or you want to drop him and pick up another quarterback or something. It's a 12-man league. So I guess in a situation like that, is that something that you want to like target like one of the, like the big name quarterbacks, or like do you want to look at like somebody's schedule or something and try to figure out like who has like a decent schedule before you have to like worry about a scenario like that? Or I guess how would you handle something like that?
I'd rather take the L. I think people are gonna probably approach it to where they can rotate, and maybe someone drops a Fields or T Law and they're struggling though, and you can make some kind of like they've already had the bye. Let's say you had Josh Allen, and Fields got cut for whatever reason because they decided to cut him, and you could swap him out if Fields already had his bye. I don't know when Chicago's got their bye. I'm just giving an example. Then I would be on alert to try and maneuver that T Law even. Like if you had to drop Josh Allen for T Law, who's already has bye and so forth, like you might need to maneuver in that way. But I don't know. That's a weird rule, bro. That's strange. I don't know why people play in these. I mean, I guess everything's got its fun aspects to it, but the problem is. That one you could get away with like not affecting you in terms of like consuming content, but these leagues where they have scoring that makes no sense whatsoever, and you can't get anybody to give you content on it, it's just ridiculous to me. But that one's, I guess that one could be fun. That one could be fun, I suppose. I would grab a quarterback and I'd anticipate that I'm going to start no quarterback during that bye week, but have more of a string of domination around those weeks. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather lose 1 week but crush everybody because everyone's afraid to go get a Josh Allen because they got to drop him. I would just take him. You know, I would take him and I'd dominate with him. Or Hurts, for that matter.
Because this league, so at the end of the way it's set up is that, like, if you end up winning, it's like you get to, like, create, like, your own rule. So the last guy that just won, he decided to create, like, a rule where you'd only have like one quarterback like in the system, and I guess he wanted to do it. To see if like anybody would like drop like a quarterback or something. But I mean, like you get like an extra like bench spot, I guess, for running back and like wide receivers and all that other type of stuff.
To each his own, pal.
Yeah.
You're the one that You're the one that joined the league. But I mean, I guess it sounds okay. I don't have time for that. It's got to be. That's why I love best ball. Like, I'm working for you guys 24/7. Like, best ball is the best thing that ever happened to me. Because now I'm not so pressured to get into a league, and try and, like, say yes to all these leagues and get talked into it because I want an extra draft. Like, I was so easy to talk into a draft, like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, somebody could come to me and say, Smitty, there's this expert league. It's, $100 buy-in. And I'm like, and even if you just put a little bit of money on the line, it just makes it competitive. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. It just makes me, like, get excited. And I'm like, God, I could have another draft. Like, now you can draft every single day on Underdog. You could draft 5 times a day on Underdog. Link is pinned. Promo code Smitty. Maybe we'll do a surprise draft. We'll definitely draft tomorrow, but we'll see about tonight. I don't know. Normally I don't go live on Wednesdays, but we'll see. Ron Navy.
Yes, sir.
What else you got?
I got some fish that I'm finishing up right now.
Ron is eating fish.
Pretty good.
Ron
Yeah, believe it or not.
All right.
Better than Moines Roughy.
Does anybody on the line? Does anybody on the line think that Tyreek Hill is going to face some sort of discipline in terms of like playing? Like he might get fined or something. Let's not even go there. Does anybody believe that he will miss a game? I don't.
I don't think so. The only reason why I say I don't is because of the situation with like Devontae Adams. You remember when he pushed that guy and then that guy flopped, I guess, and like they made like a thing like he was gonna go to court. Like he was only fined. He didn't really miss any time either. So I feel like with the Tyreek Hill thing, I feel like he's not gonna miss any time either. He might just, if anything, he might get fined if they see if it's like anything serious. But I don't think he gets suspended.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I don't see any other news today, guys. There's not a whole lot brewing.
Well,
Hopkins.
McGinnis is in trouble again.
What did he do?
I mean, it's not relevant to fantasy news, but Willie McGinnis, I guess he got beat some guy's ass in the gym again for the second time. So
hold on,
he's in trouble.
There's a Tyreek Hill update here. Let me go ahead and post this real quick. It looks like the investigation by police has been concluded, and let me have this. Let me have Ziggy's assistant read this off to you guys.
Ziggy.
Yeah, let's have Ziggy take care of this. Ziggy, are you up for the task? Ziggy, are you up for the task? God, he's worthless sometimes. All right, here's the report.
Move.
All right, hold on. Be quiet, guys. 1 second.
Fox Sports 640's Andy Slater reports the police have concluded their investigation of Tyreek Hill after an alleged assault and battery incident at a Miami Beach marina. According to Slater, cops told the alleged victim he would have to go to the state attorney's office if he decides to pursue criminal charges. Hill reportedly boarded a boat at the marina without permission and allegedly struck a man during the ensuing argument. Whether or not anything comes of this is anybody's guess, but it sounds like this is an open and shut case for the time being. The NFL could still opt to levy a punishment against Hill if they deem the offense to be significant enough, but it's possible this is the last we hear of the incident.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what we predicted. It's what
Not
we
only get him for assault, they could get him for being on the boat, coming on the boat without permission.
Yeah, we'll see. Could there be some?
That's like walking in a house without permission.
Could there be some sort of like gesture by Tyreek Hill to say, "Hey, why don't I give you this, and this, just to make sure it doesn't come back?" Or does Tyreek Hill's the kind of guy to be like, "Whatever, I'm not gonna do anything about it." Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, probably nothing gonna happen.
Why would he get on that boat anyways when he wasn't even invited on there?
But
why would he just jump on that boat?
But here's the thing, though, and I don't know the exact details around that because it's kind of vague. But the fact that the police have concluded their investigation and nothing's happening tells me that there's no case. You know what I mean? Like he could take it wherever he wants, but it's not going to go anywhere. The state attorney's office could pursue some sort of, maybe they could cook up something like you said with multiple things, but I don't think anything's happening with this. The fact that the police couldn't come away with anything. In the Deshaun Watson situation, all that stuff that, went to... Now, could he sue him in civil? Sure, he could take it civil, but like Deshaun Watson situation...
Or on their property, that's a federal offense. It's a misdemeanor federal offense, but it's still a federal offense.
I'd have to see the details on what he actually did in terms of that, but this situation here, if the police can't do anything about it, it's highly unlikely that it can go anywhere. Because in the Deshaun Watson situation with all those cases, the police had a lot of evidence, and it was the DA that couldn't take it the distance because it's almost like it's harder for it's easier for the police to come up with something and then somebody go to court and win. But when the police and the investigation comes up with nothing, there's really nothing to even like go after or utilize like in a court system. So I don't think anything's gonna happen. But yeah, that's it's just behavior that is repetitive for this guy. Just violence and assault, and it's a long laundry list of things that just coincide with the wide receiver diva. And that what we're seeing in, Diggs isn't violent, but Diggs is, a concern, and Antonio Brown, and it's crazy, man. Ron, Pittsburgh player died. What was his name? 45 years old. What was his name?
That's sad.
Yeah. There's other news here. Isaiah Hodgins was mostly with the first team offense in Giants offseason program. That's good. I like Hodgins a lot, but I do hope Hyatt does climb into that number one spot. But Hodgins was a player that I was very much drafting in a lot of leagues. 908 caller, you're live. All right. Not prepared. OEG, appreciate you.
Well, hey, Smitty, before you say that might have been Melvin. He just asked for your number. I gave it to him, and he's a first-time caller.
Okay, Melvin, try again. Melvin. Try again. It'll be okay, Melvin. Dial in. I'll be more patient with you. Smitty, you know better than to believe any report out of San Francisco. Okay, what's that even mean, bro? What's that even mean? What are you trying to tell me? What do you think you're trying to fantasy explain to me, pal? Because I believe I just said that you can't trust the reports. What are you talking about, bro? Read the room. There we go. Is this Melvin?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Melvin? What can I do for you, pal?
Thank you for all, and thanks for Ron Navy.
Yeah. Hey, if you've got the show in the background at all, if you could turn that down, that will be helpful.
Yeah, we got it down now already.
Okay, good. I was getting a little echo. What can I do for you, Melvin?
No, just thank you for all you do, man. I love your show, man. You're the best, and Ron Navy, the man.
Yeah, thank you, Melvin. What do you think about? You got any questions? You got any players you want to talk about? Any trades? Any questions about fantasy value for any players coming into the 2023 season, Melvin?
Not right now. Just probably in 3 weeks from now. That should be good for now.
Okay. What do you think about? Where do you think Dalvin Cook's going to land?
Probably maybe the Bills. Not sure.
Woo. With his brother? He's got to take his brother's job?
Smitty.
Yeah.
We need to talk some more Spanish.
Yeah. Yo hablo un poquito. God, man, it's been so long.
I got you. Well, maybe I got you.
I took like 3 years in college. But it's been so long, But I do know enough. I do know. You could drop me off somewhere, Spanish speaking country, and I'd probably do okay. I'd find the baño. I'd be okay. I'd grab some food. I just don't have a lot of the past tense and present tense down, but I could do okay. I could give you fantasy advice. In a decent fashion. Smitty, do you know who the rookie wide receiver? Do you know who the rookie wide receiver this year need a banger? Tank Dell's your guy. You want a guy that's going to overperform, bro. Tank Dell's your guy. Tyreek is not exactly a model citizen. That's correct, Max. That's factual information right there. But as far as the number one wide receiver, if you're just needing a sleeper breakout, totally outperform his value, Tank Dell is that wide receiver. Could he even be the number one wide receiver? Certainly could. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but he certainly could be that guy. He could. I know Ron likes Addison. I think Flowers is going to show a lot of promise, but I just don't know if it's going to happen right away. I'm very much, interested in seeing him evolve. I think Flowers is arguably the most talented wide receiver. Him and Tank Dell are the most talented wide receivers in the two smallest, I think, of the entire class physically. But, landing spot was very, very, very vital and important. And honestly, Tank Dell's landing spot could be quietly the best one of them all at the end of the day, because he could be the number one wide receiver, and he built rapport with his quarterback during the combine week. And so much so, these guys are playing video games together, hanging out together, just became best buddies, Tank Dell and CJ Stroud. And Stroud, when he was drafted, had time to have a discussion with his team and say, draft Tank Dell for me. Draft Tank Dell for me. And they did it. They drafted Tank Dell for CJ Stroud on his request. And that's a strong rapport. And I'm just telling you, it might be the best landing spot situation for a wide receiver. And Tank Dell was the number one wide receiver in the nation in yardage, the number one wide receiver in the nation in touchdowns, and he was only second to Charlie Jones in receptions with 109. Charlie Jones had 110. This guy had almost a triple crown in college football, and no one's talking about Tank Dell like he could be the number one wide receiver in this entire rookie wide receiver class. Why? Why can't the guy that led the nation in touchdowns, the nation in yardage, and second in receptions not be the number one wide receiver in the nation? Because he's small. Guy runs routes like a monster. Just wait. Tank Dell, for his smaller stature, is going to be very, very aggressive and amazing off the line in the NFL. You just wait. All you Tank Dell haters out there.
He's going to be the Muggsy Bogues of football, huh?
Well, no, Muggsy Bogues of football is Deuce Vaughn at 5'5". He's arguably there is a shorter player in the NFL, but he's not like a starter. But Deuce Vaughn is arguably the shortest guy in the NFL that might be utilized quite a bit. 5'5". That's crazy. He didn't look that small in the field though. At the combine, when he was lined up with the other RBs, he looked smaller. But you were thinking, okay, this is going to look like the way Bryce Young looks with his offensive line. That's how you expected Deuce Vaughn to look again, next to the running backs, and he didn't. But Deuce Vaughn's very, 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 very solid. Smitty size, says Juicebox. Jaden Reed is also a good choice. I like Jaden Reed a lot. I think he's in a good opportunity. There's definitely ability to grab the number 2 spot there. I don't know that Romeo Dobbs is the guy that's gonna, hold on to the number 2 job the entire season. I'm not super high on him.
Someone is at the front door.
Little Smitty's here.
Ding dong.
Little Smitty's here.
Hey Melvin, who's your favorite team?
Ziggy. Off.
Mine is New York Giants, baby.
Oh, you're a Giants fan.
Saquon Barkley, baby.
All right.
Hey, real quickly, guys. I'm gonna swing you off the phone line here one at a time. I still may take some calls as I wrap up some things, but Scuba Steve, I wanted to get your final thoughts. Is there any other player that's that you're concerned about or want to talk about in the news? There have been a few pieces of news that have dropped since we've been live. The Tyreek Hill situation looks like it's getting wrapped up. Again, that ESPN Adam Schefter report talking about Sam Darnold, which we've said the Niners are going to not give out that information. But if we're connecting dots ourselves, I believe that Sam Darnold is the likely starter in week 1. I know scared Scotty, he was scared on hold, so he left. But he was saying that how could that happen? How could that happen? What do you mean, how could it happen? Like Shanahan botching the quarterback decision-making? Of course it could happen. Dude just dropped 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate, dude, dropping that.
To the moon.
He might have, Ron Navy, just been the final determining factor of opening up another emoji for your Kirk Cousins, so I'll look into that tonight. Appreciate you, dude, for dropping that. And then, Ron, the timer starts. You got 1 week of Kirk Cousins and Kenny Pickett emojis, and then I'm taking them down. But you're gonna have a whole week of them, and I want you to use them as much as you can.
Oh, I will. You know that.
Where is the info coming from? Dalvin isn't released. Dalvin is not released. Yeah, he's not released. Here, let me put this report up. This is from NBC Sports as well. For anybody that's thinking that Dalvin Cook has been cut, he has not been cut. He has not been cut. Everybody keeps talking about him being cut. People said he got cut a couple Fridays ago, and he hasn't been. He hasn't been. Let me find this report.
Yeah, that's the way they made it sound. It's like he was going to be cut last Friday. It's the way they made it sound.
Did they just take did they just take
and the
that
way that they've
report
been
down?
talking too, it's like he has been. That's why it's been confusing.
Well, no, they may have just taken that report down. NBC Sports. Maybe he did in fact. Maybe he did in fact get released.
I thought he was released last.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. NBC Sports had that report up, and they just took it down.
Oh.
And it's saying free agent Dalvin Cook. Maybe he has been. Maybe he has officially been released now. And they messed up on that because I was reading an NBC Sports report that said he was not released. He would be released. Now he's not released. That's crazy, bro. They just took that down.
So is he released or isn't he released?
The fact that they took it down makes me feel like maybe he is officially released then. Here's the report. Vikings released Dalvin Cook. Let me see if I can. Man, maybe I have it. They took it down. Hold on. I think I have the original clipping of it. But now they're taking it down. Hold on. Where is it? Come on. That was today. They posted this report. Let me see if I can.
Here's one from CBS Sports saying Vikings release Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is officially released then. Oh, here it is.
ESPN.
I can't believe they removed. I can't believe they removed this though.
Yeah, so he's released already.
Yeah, okay. My bad on that. My bad on that, guys. But I was going off of the report.
So teams can talk to him, obviously.
Yeah, so according to what I'm looking at right here. Let me show you the report that they posted, and then they took it down. This is what NBC Sports posted today. Obviously an error, but they just took it down. Here it is right here. Let me put it on screen just so everybody knows where I got this from. They shouldn't just delete it. They should like update it. They should like tell you like we made an error. Here's what they released here. It says Vikings released Dalvin Cook. Cook's release is expected to be made official on Friday. The Vikings saved nearly $9 million in cap space with the release of Cook 27, who is expected to have strong free agent market. The Dolphins and Broncos have been closely linked to Cook over the last several months, which includes rumors of the Dolphins trying to trade for Cook ahead of the NFL draft. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that a team could attempt to trade for Cook once more before Friday, but it sounds like the veteran back is officially on his way out the door of Minnesota after 6 weeks. Injuries have plagued Cook throughout his entire career, but that hasn't stopped him from ripping off 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons and 43 touchdowns over that span. He should have several suitors in the open market, including... I think what happened is they somehow brought an old report forward, and then they kicked it back again. This was on the front of their news. So yeah, I believe he is probably released. Problem is, we don't have like an official released. We don't have like an official news post that says he was in fact released on that Friday. I don't know. That seems to be the confusion.
Well, if you check, ESPN reported it, and all of them pretty much reported it.
But even this one says Vikings released Dalvin Cook, and then right below it, they say his release is expected to be made official on Friday. So, like, people are saying he's been released at all intents and purposes, but, like, when Hopkins was released. But I just want to know that it's official because everybody's reporting different things.
Okay. Vikings.com reports Dalvin Cook, Minnesota, on Friday terminated the contract of the running back who first joined the Vikings. And then it goes, the move comes as the Vikings had to make multiple cuts. Cook ranked 6th, and it just goes about him. But this is as of 11:59 on June 9th. That's right from the Vikings.com.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems like he is probably officially released then. But
yeah, that's their website.
I don't know. I mean, look, I'm at the mercy of what the news reports are slinging out there, and I digest it. But this was on CBS Sports, NBC, Roto World today. This is on Roto World today.
Well, they're not. They make mistakes too.
Yeah, that's true. I make mistakes.
I mean,
all the
June
time.
9th, that was Friday, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just so everybody sees right here, the Tyreek Hill situation, and then Dalvin Cook right below that. So Dalvin Cook is right below that Tyreek Hill news of investigation. So weird. I don't know. Yeah, they took it down. It's not on there. This was just saved on my phone. I hadn't refreshed it yet. Jared says, you asked Smitty about the comments I have sent him. I don't know what that means. That's an old article. It mentions the draft. Yeah, but it's not old. They just posted this today. So somebody probably brought an old article forward or something. I don't know. Not sure. But yeah, so Dalvin Cook. I'll change the title of because I got that in the title here. My bad for not knowing, but it is interesting that they would have that on there. Dalvin Cook. What should the title of this live stream be? Breaking news. What do we talk about? Sometimes I title something and then we go in a whole different direction. Breaking news.
Sam Darnold projected to start.
Darnold.
Or something like that.
Dalvin Cook. Justin Fields. All right, there we go. All right, boys. Scuba Steve, appreciate you. I'm sorry if you said he was cut and I said he wasn't. I don't know if you said that at the beginning. I still don't fully know. I'm pretty sure he's cut, but we have a lot of people, like even this report right here, saying if this was an old report that they brought forward, Vikings release Dalvin Cook, and then the same sentence, Cook's release becomes official Friday. I just haven't seen that official Friday release report either, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But before you let me go, I'm just gonna. I remember you asked me if I had any questions about certain players. It was just a few. I'll be brief before I hang up. It was just about the 49ers offense because we've been. I know that for like a lot of the times we haven't been reporting whether it's either going to be Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, or whatever. I guess where are you like confident in like trying to draft any of these guys like Debo, Ayuk, or
go give your cat a shot.
Like quarterback. I guess like how would you attack that situation?
I'm drafting Debo in the 3rd to 4.5 round range, depending on the board. I don't love Debo as a 3.5 round player, like 3.5. But I don't love it, but I like it when the board is looking a certain way. The other day I tried out a Deebo Samuel instead of drafting Christian Watson, and it didn't feel awful, but I definitely wanted to redo it, and I redid the draft, and then I did feel more comfortable with Christian Watson, but that's kind of where he goes. So I really don't mind Deebo as a late third drafted player, but I certainly don't take him in the second, and I certainly feel a lot more comfortable if, let's say, I have like an early fourth round pick that I get Deebo. Deebo falls to me as my fourth drafted player at the top of 4. I love that. Christian McCaffrey, I'm not taking very often at all because Bijan is the guy I take, and Bijan's always available when Christian McCaffrey's there. So I just haven't been drafting a lot of Christian McCaffrey. I worry about injury. I worry about usage. I think they may try and run more Eli Mitchell and mix things up. I don't think they want to break McCaffrey. McCaffrey has 1 full year left at the very most for me in the way that I'm looking at this. I know Niner fans are going to see it differently. They're going to think he has 2 or 3 years left. He doesn't. He was very hard pressed to do what he did last year, and he got banged up a couple times, and it was kind of scary at moments last year.
Yeah.
So I'm not going near. And Kittle is non-existent unless Purdy's in that lineup, and so I'm not going near Kittle. Ayuk is running crispy routes. It looks really, really good. Deebo Samuel said you couldn't guard him in a phone booth, and there's just a lot of talk going on about Ayuk. But at the same time, it's like, is the volume going to be there? Could he look really good at times? I don't know. Maybe he will. Am I willing to take a chance on Ayuk in like one league out of like 20? Maybe. But I think he goes a little higher than I want.
Do you think that, like, I guess like say if like Sam Darnold, like it is official that Sam Darnold's a starter, I guess could you like use like ADP to the advantage? But like if they say Sam Darnold's a starter, you think any of those guys are gonna move down because like Sam Darnold, like when he was out there, he didn't really make like DJ Moore, I guess, like any good or anything like that. So I guess off that name, is there any chance that they slip or anything and maybe take advantage of that or something?
I don't believe in Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Listen, he couldn't even beat out Baker Mayfield in Carolina. What's that tell you?
Yeah, I don't believe in Sam Darnold.
I didn't mean that towards him. I meant that towards like Deebo and Ayuk, because I feel like if they say that Sam Darnold ends up becoming a starter, and we all know he sucks, that like maybe like people that you draft with, like maybe they're not gonna go after him. Because I mean, it happened to me last year, when nobody was sure, who was going to be the starter for the Seahawks, and the Seahawks guys with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, they fell a lot in my drafts. So I mean, like that's what I'll say. Like I don't know if that's something to use towards your advantage. I guess is if a bad quarterback is like throwing to some of the guys that are good. I guess.
All right, Scuba, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I have no interest in Sam Darnold, especially like we're talking about fantasy football. Like, there's no reason anybody should even draft Sam Darnold. There's just yeah. Scuba.
No, I don't want to draft him either. But I guess like the way I was trying to say the question is that like,
can he support
is
the
if
offense?
he gets awarded like the starter, does that like bring
bring down?
Samuel,
yes, brings down everybody. Brings down everybody. Brings down everybody. Right. Yeah. I don't. But the thing is, he won't start for very long. If he does start, Brock Purdy's like on the cusp of playing. So,
all right.
Does Brock Purdy bring the best out in Kittle? Yeah. Does he bring the best out in Christian McCaffrey? Yeah. Does he bring the best out in Deebo? It didn't seem to be the case. Deebo was not necessarily the guy they needed him to be anymore with Brock Purdy in there. And he could have flashes of greatness and then have a game or two where nothing happened. So Deebo probably doesn't do as well with Brock Purdy in there. If, let's say, Sam Darnold were in there, maybe Deebo is actually gets a little bump in value. I'd say Deebo's best shot is the quarterback room being kind of messy. Then they lean on him. But then he gets hurt, so it's like a catch-22. But Deebo with a successful Brock Purdy under center, not probably good. Not probably as good as you want. But maybe he changes. Maybe what he said, him not being prepared for the season because of the holdout and the Niners dragging their feet on giving him a contract. He wasn't in sync. He was out of tune and not in touch with, the normal. Pal Derby dropping 20 gifted memberships. Pal Derby.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Where am I?
Alert. Super chat alert.
Pal Derby, appreciate you dropping that 20 wad on the screen. All right, Scuba, we'll see you later, pal.
All right, see you later, Smitty.
Scared Scotty, final thoughts. He's back.
I want to see you give the cat a shot.
Yeah, I don't need to. Miss Smitty's got it handled. She's home early today.
All right. All right, be good, man.
Yeah, it's not a pretty
See you
sight
tonight.
anyway. It's not a pretty sight. I've probably been giving it to him wrong. I mean, maybe I'm not even giving it to him right this whole time. I don't know. I'm not a veterinarian, Scared Scotty. I mean, I'm not scared of a shot like you are, but I don't know that I'm doing it right. All right, Scott, appreciate you.
Later.
Melvin, final thoughts, Melvin.
Hey, Smitty, what do you think about Saquon Barkley? Is he going to sign with the Giants?
Who?
Saquon Barkley?
Oh, yeah. Saquon Barkley, yeah, I mean, he's not, first of all, he's not going to get traded. The odds of that are so minute. And he's not going to hold out, I don't believe, because he's going to accrue fines. On July 17, he becomes, if not earlier, a 1 year, he gets put on a 1 year contract on his franchise tag, whether he wants to or not, whether he signs the tender or not, it becomes his. And he's making $10 million for the 1 year, and then he can no longer negotiate. Him or the Giants can't negotiate. It's locked into place. $10 million, a little over $10 million for 1 season. That's his contract, and that's it. There's no negotiation. There's no kickstarting contract talks. It gets locked into place, and then he starts accruing fines if he holds out past July 17. So right now he's not accruing fines. So right now he's not pressured to get in there. Right now he's trying to make it really uncomfortable for the New York Giants, so that he can potentially get the ball rolling again. I have heard that contract talks have picked back up. That's great news. I do believe they're not super far apart, and Barkley's made it very abundantly clear he's not trying to reset the running back market. He's not trying to be the highest paid running back in the National Football League. He's even made, comments like, I know what my value is, or I know what the running back market looks like. And so he's been very, I would say, very open-minded to a team-friendly and Saquon-friendly deal, not just a Saquon-friendly deal. So my guess is that they get him inked to a respectable deal before the season, or before the July 17 deadline. But if they don't, he's most certainly going to be disgruntled, but will play on the tag. And I think he comes back. But you don't want him holding out until July 17, though. That's kind of a long time. It doesn't seem like it, but that's about a month. You don't, even if he works out, he's still going to be not, like, look at Debo. Debo said he was out of tune and not in sync all year long because of it. And it could lead to injury. Even a month right now could lead to potential injury. You just don't want that. So, but I think he'll get signed, and there's definitely no way I see him holding out and pulling a Le'Veon Bell. Saquon's too smart. Le'Veon Bell wasn't really smart about that. Saquon's a smart guy.
Yep. You know what is weird? I'm a Giants fan, and I live in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. That's not the craziest thing ever, but like, yeah. Are you? How long you've lived in Minnesota?
Probably 5 years.
Okay, so that's not unusual. All right, man. Hey, Melvin, call in anytime. Yeah, call in anytime. I got you in the phone systems here, so I'll see you call in. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you, Smitty.
Later, pal. Ron, final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm glad Melvin, another virgin caller for the fantasy football show. Cherries Pops. Awesome job, Melvin. Glad you called in. I'm going to be doing a Dalmatian tonight. I think I'm going to do my first Dalmatian 2 tonight.
Yeah, I might try one the next day or so.
They're about halfway full, so I don't want to not do at least one. You can do up to 3, but
Jared,
that's about all I got.
Jared seems a little odd tonight. Jared's he's a little more vocal than normal. Jared, that's fine. Jared says Sam Howell will be better than Patrick Mahomes. Mic drop. Y'all have a good night. Jared might be sipping back on Grandpa's old cough medicine tonight, but that's okay. We still appreciate you, Jared.
Oh, Jared. Yeah. He's the one that just likes Washington, right? But doesn't play fantasy football.
Yeah. He's a good guy, but yeah, I love Sam Howell, but that's a little overboard. Dotson going to be a TD machine. I love Dotson. Dotson's going to be amazing. He's a sneaky good wide receiver too in fantasy. You mark my words. All right, Ron, appreciate you.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about the CW or the CR, the copy stuff. Earlier when I was with my super chat. I forgot all about that.
The what?
The copyright stuff.
Oh, I don't.
For music.
Oh, yeah, no problem. No, you were singing it. It's okay. You didn't play it.
Yeah, well, I don't know the rules on that.
Well, Ron, you didn't sound so much like the song that they're gonna think it's the song playing. So I think you'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like your Garrett Wilson one, right?
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. You distorted that a little bit.
Yeah.
That was good.
It probably wasn't real. All right. Later, Ron. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Later. Ron's worried about his singing being so like the actual song that he thinks he triggered some sort of kind of like this one.
Your eyes. Garrett Wilson and the boys. Your eyes. Rodgers has new toys. Your eyes. The lights, the heat. Your eyes. A Jets fan complete. Your eyes. You don't want to test Sauce Gardner's heat. Your eyes. I want to watch Breece Hall's quick.
Come on, man. Pick up.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hey man, it's Devontae Adams again. Call me back, bro.
In your eyes, the light that hit your eyes, incomplete your lies.
I will see you all potentially tonight. I'm not sure. Appreciate you. We'll see you all later. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Appreciate Pal Derby dropping those 20 gifted memberships. Appreciate the Wolfmeister for doing the same thing. Let's see here. Who else dropped in? Gifted 10. Paul Wolfer dropped it. Two different gifted 10 memberships right here. Paul, appreciate you doing that, pal. And Zach dropping a 10er right there as well. And I think, let's see here. Did anybody drop a 20 today? Pal Derby dropped a 20. That was the only other 20. Pal Derby, just an absolute legend. All of you.
To the moon.
All of you to the moon. Appreciate you. I'll see you all later. Jared, I'm on the way out the door. Make it snappy. You're live.
Smitty, I appreciate you having me on, letting me be on. I take my insulin shot every morning at about 7 a.m.
You may have missed it. You may have missed it today. You may have missed it today with the Mahomes. Is Sam Howell's going to be the next Mahomes? But I like Sam Howell, but that's a lofty expectation.
You know I'm joshing.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night. Later, Smitty.
Appreciate you, Jared. Later. All right. He's just doing a reality check there. Appreciate you all. Denny, if you're there, the show's ending. It's about time for you to call. Sorry about the Dalvin Cook misinformation we were fed by NBC Sports. That's on me. I'm not always right. That's for sure. Peace out.